Hello, Namaste. This is Ira Sahai back again with another D-Life Diploma course review video. I am a D-Life certified metabolic health consultant, also the chief operating officer of D-Life. I have with me today Sanjeeve Gheewala, who has now got certified through D-Life Diploma course, and he brings a lot to the table, which I will mention in his bio. Sanjeev Kiwala is from Indian origin, a tribal member of Kenya. He has lived in the UK for most of his life and Dubai for over a decade. After completing the metabolic health certification from D-Life, he relocated to India to establish allulose distribution and manufacturing with an EU partner. With a background in submarine cables and power projects, including post-war Iraq, Sanjeev brings diverse expertise to his mission of advancing metabolic health solutions through innovative ventures. This is a short bio of Sanjeev, a brief on him, but he'll tell you more. And he's doing a lot of work in allulose and bringing allulose to India. And allulose, as we know, has a lot of health benefits. So we'll discuss that and more. Sanjeev, welcome to the D-Live, course review video.
Hi, Ira. Thank you very much.
Yeah, glad to have you. Sanjeev, let's begin with
Thank you.
the fact, why did you enroll into the D-Life Diploma course and why D-Life only?
Okay, I'll go back. Uh, when I just turned 40, my wife's uncle, who was very close to, passed away suddenly, heart attack. And I then ended up going to Thailand to a friend's resort to just think about with an Australian bodybuilder. And if you remember, this was a time when Atkins was becoming popular, and nobody really knew it. I'm telling my age now, but and uh, well, this was really kind of revolutionary. And he took me a lot. I mean, I lost a lot of weight. We did a lot of workout and we essentially did keto, for the full month. And it was transformative. And he explained to us, time with us, and he showed us, how to do it. But he also did a blood test. It wasn't just a blood test, he was a trained bodybuilder, and and these guys are very familiar. And so I lost a little weight. And when I came back, Atkins just kind of just made people completely. And I thought, what the hell is going on? Every time I talked about anything keto or like that, people thought I was crazy. No, because there's a lot of disinformation. I ignored it for a while. Then I went back into training again and even doing like that. And I managed it myself, because I knew from that experience how to basically control a little bit. But when COVID came, I put on quite a lot of weight, just moving between Dubai and UK and then eventually to Bombay. And then I sat down for a while and I thought, okay, I'm sold the business and let me look at something in India. And I focus on everything else. And that's what I'm doing. And that's when I first met Shafi. And I got introduced to D-Life and I understood a little bit more about going in and moving out. And it really shocked me that we're going down to India with the Americans, the West. We've got mismatches in two man's country, which is bizarre. So we're all doing our bit to help. And so, I really found it, incredibly useful. I didn't have no personal um, knowledge or certification in sort of this area. So for me, being in the business, having this business station certificate is really helpful to at least have some credibility to what I'm talking about. And of course, the Indian diet aspect. I mean, people I know who try and those people who agree, they just give up on Indian
I'll,
vegetarians.
I'll interject you here a bit, Sanjeev. I think the voice is very miffed. If you're wearing a earphone, I think it's inside your collar and it's, absolutely miffed. So I could make out quite a bit of it, but I think halfway down the
Is
line we
that
just
better?
missed.
Is that better?
No, I think you'll have to put it closer to your mouth, maybe.
Is it better now?
Not really.
Let me just turn off the Bluetooth and use the.
Yeah, you can probably just speak into the laptop. That's also fine because I don't use it for the same reason.
Okay, is it better now?
It is much better, but you can probably speak up a bit so that, it's louder.
Sure. Should we start again?
Yeah, no, no, you can continue, but take us back, in what you were saying, probably.
Yeah. Just to cut a long story short, uh, uh, I needed to get some knowledge. I wanted to learn more. I had some time over COVID, and I wanted to lose weight, and um, I just found it like, such an invaluable resource for just not just for me, but for so many people. So, and the community is just wonderful, and it's just a great little package for any human being, quite frankly.
Yeah. So nice to know that background, Sanjeev, although I think a lot of people did miss, because of that voice not being clear. But maybe we'll cover that. So, with a background in what you did, how did you think about bringing allulose to India? Because I think this is for the first time that somebody is working on something like this. And
No,
please tell us.
there are a couple of sorry, to finish your question.
Yeah. So tell us if there are even a couple of people, I mean, what is it that you're bringing to the table? Why is allulose, a great addition to the low carb spectrum? And tell us about your product also.
Yeah, so initially I wanted to make low carb ice cream, and I tried everything. And if you use erythritol, it turns into ice because it doesn't dissolve well. And there has to be better ways to do it. And then I discovered allulose, and I started making it myself. That was my dinner when I was losing weight. It was very nice, great recipes, that really work, at least for me. And then I started to understand that it's just starting in sort of growth, where stevia was 10 years ago. And if you look at the food industry in general, the problem is they've got so many options to choose from, and then taste and function become a problem because they just focus on sweetness and nothing else and replacing sweetness. But sugar is just more than that. It provides bulk, it has preservation qualities, texture, mouthfeel. And I was very surprised to know that for over 20 years, the Japanese have been using it extensively. Their obesity rate has not changed in 20 years, although they have laws in place and different nutrition. But innovation certainly plays a part of it, and they use allulose like any sugar to reduce sugar in recipes, which I think is very important
Very important, yes. So
because
we've
you know
all
what.
been talking about Japan's, great health and longevity that, it's one of the healthiest countries in the world. So this is also probably one part of their secret that they have been using allulose to cut down sugar. I mean, it's a great, insight for me as well. Yeah, please
Yeah,
continue.
for over 20 years. I mean, it's in supermarkets, in a lot of people's homes. And they have blends with just sugar in it. And it's just starting around the world. And it's known as the land that doesn't need Ozempic. When Ozempic launched there, nobody buys it. It's very unusual for a company like that. Very rare in the world.
Yeah, so Sanjeev, how can people get your allulose and when is it coming on the shelves? Tell us about that launch and what are probably maybe the date or something like that people can buy
Sure.
from a link.
Sure. We will be the second licensed importer, distributor, manufacturer of allulose in India. Another company already got it last October when it was approved in India. And they took 8 months to get approval. So we're in month 5 now, going into month 6. In fact, we just finished the last set of inquiries with them. But I can't speak for the FSSI, but I've been told another couple of months, and I was told that before. So I'm not holding my breath just yet, but within 2 months, I reckon we'll have something on the shelf for sure. But the good news is that it's approved in India after a very extensive process with multiple tests and uh, lots of examinations from everything from shelf life to manufacturing to, just the whole gamut. It's a long process.
Yeah, I think we'll schedule a D-Life podcast with Sanjeev once he's closer to the launch to talk about the benefits of allulose, and we'll have an entire session with Sanjeev and to understand the product, how you can get it, what are the health benefits that allulose brings. So probably we'll schedule that with you later, Sanjeev, when you are closer to the
Sure,
launch.
we'll do a cooking session.
Yeah, why not? So, Sanjeev, also tell us about the course that you've now completed with such a diverse background. I mean, you've lived abroad and you've done a lot of work in submarine cables, and then you've traveled a lot. You're bringing allulose. Now, tell us about the course itself. After having gone through it, after now getting certified, what are the USP of the course that you loved about?
Um, like obviously the curriculum, when it's broken down for you into many chapters in a way which is easily digestible, you start to sort of categorize the whole human body in a proper A to Z way, rather than just thinking, willy-nilly about the whole system. So that going from A to Z, I think, was incredibly useful, especially the quizzes, the recipes that you see, the evidence that you produce of your own, not just any studies of your own, which is remarkable. I mean, some fantastic. One story that really stood out for me was in Metabolic Health Conference 2024, was a cardiovascular surgeon. I don't know if you remember, but he a slightly older man in his 70s or late 60s, and he got a diabetes diagnosis, and he was worried about continuing to finish his duties at the hospital. I don't know if you remember his name. Can you remind me his name? Or
Um,
you don't remember?
Session, yeah,
Doctor.
I don't remember
I don't think
of
you were
the.
interviewing, but just his
Yes.
story was just remarkable. That really
Mm-hmm.
sort of was very moving and inspirational, and it's just facts. And these tools, these things are just so basic, but I'm so surprised people don't know it on a mainstream basis. It's really not good. So glad to be a pioneer in that, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think MHC 1, 2, 3. I mean, we've had 100 plus doctors, and from all streams, we featured them, right from cancers to mental health to, people, doctors who are dealing in diabetes and all of that. So 100 plus names there, and all sessions were, equally inspiring and eye-opening. As I always say, one session is equal to probably reading 10 books on that same subject because of the questions that were asked, the spectrum that was covered with that expert. So, yeah, there may be a lot of people and everybody with their own inspiring story, in all of the three conferences. Thanks for that, Sanjeev. And also tell us about the community that you are now a part of. Despite having completed the course, you're still in D Life and in the WhatsApp community on the forum, and you can take help there. Any time that you want, you have access to recipes and all of the resources that D Life has created over a period of 10 plus years.
Well, you've got 150 odd friends at least on WhatsApp that you can call on to answer any dumb question that you have, or any help that you need, or any advice that you need, at literally in seconds or minutes almost. It's fantastic. That's a really, a truly wonderful part of being a part of a team, if you like, informal as it is, but it's very helpful, very useful, and everybody I've met has been remarkably nice and happy and friendly and really quite serious about what they do, which is a great thing.
Yeah, I think we are all just wild and mad, but very passionate about our cause. And, the right from salt to magnesium to everything we discuss on the forum, on the WhatsApp community, and we have a lot of fun as well. Sanjeev, you have also lived in Kenya, and there is a course, basically there are just two courses in the world in this space, low carb nutrition and metabolic health. Have you heard about any other course? There is another course which comes out of South Africa, which is a nutrition network, Professor Tim Noakes. Did you hear about that
I
course?
no, I've not. I've heard of him, obviously, but no, I didn't know he had a course.
Yeah. So before DLife launched the course, and obviously we are the only course approved in the space by the government of India. That's the India side of it. But globally, we both Nutrition Network and DLife have been accredited few hours in the sense that they are CPDSO UK accredited. So Nutrition Network has about 60 to 65 hours, if I'm not wrong, and DLife has about 144 hours. We were
Wow.
60 hours before, yeah. So we are the biggest course in the world in this space, and with half the price of Nutrition Network. As a result of which, we now have 21 countries enrolled with us, including members from or people from South Africa itself. So before DLife was launched internationally, there was just this one course, and it is not valid legally in India. But after the launch of DLife course, which is valid in India also, it is the only legally tenable course in India and the biggest CPD SO UK accredited course globally with 144 CPD hours and with half the fee. So this is a bit of information on, the course comparison and the fee and the spectrum and the scope of the course, the topics that we cover. So 144 hours is huge. Nobody else has that in the world. Sanjeev, also tell us, how would you recommend or why would you recommend this course to anybody with either your background or even just like that?
Yeah, it's really amazing to note that you get that much more sort of credit in your skills course. You know, that's I didn't know that. That's pretty good. And you know, being one of the few courses, the only course, which is really shocking, quite frankly. I mean, bloody hell, what are the Americans doing?
Nothing. There is no course. I mean, yes, you should go out and ask this on Twitter. And the fact is, that there is no other course in the world, and everybody before this, before DLife, especially people who were looking at international certification, either they were from India or from abroad, they went to Nutrition Network, which was the only option back then. But after DLife was launched in 2020, I think in 23 or 24, I think 24 January, 2024 January, we got CPD SO UK accreditation. We applied for it. Our course was reviewed by CPD SO UK, and they gave us 60 hours of credit to the course. Nutrition Network also has the same hours of credit accrued to it. So in last December, we massively updated the course. It is now equal to maybe four times Nutrition Network, or yeah, maybe more. So the difference is not just double from what we had earlier in terms of CPD hours and what Nutrition Network has now, but it is more than double. So DLife was 60 hours earlier. Nutrition Network is close to 60, 65 hours. And now DLife, after the major course update that was done in December, we are standing at 144 hours CPD credits that Nutrition Network doesn't have. And there is no other course in the world. Of course, people are running a lot of courses, small courses here and there. But what makes DLife stand apart is that not only is the only legally valid course in India under government approved course in India, but it's the best and the biggest course with the maximum CPDS or UK hours that no other course has. So it is bang for money. It is value for money. And as I said, as a result, 21 countries are now enrolled. And what's really interesting and humbling is that even enrollees from South Africa, where Nutrition Network course comes from, even they are enrolled with DLife.
Have you got any people in Australia or New Zealand or any qualifications
Yes,
there?
there are
Because
lots of people from
no,
Australia. In fact, a doctor is also enrolled
good.
from Australia, besides the other consultants. So I think Dr. Sunil Rajan is from Australia because he enrolled through me, so I remember his name. So there are 4, 5 people from Australia already, and you would be very surprised to know, and very proud to know, Sanjeev, that one of our course enrollees, Prajakta Abhyankar, when she completed the course, she wanted to practice in Australia because that's where she stays. And she needed to register and practice as a registered dietitian. So she went to her, local association or the country association that could have, registered her, and they said we need CPD hours. At that point of time, the life had 60 CPD hours. And when Prajakta went there, they said, all we need is probably 20 to 30 CPD hours. So, after having done the D-Life course, she did not need to do any other course. And she had much more CPD hours than, the association required to register her and
Amazing.
start letting her practice as a registered dietitian. And same for other countries as well. New Zealand and Australia, I think, are on the same page.
Yeah, I think this
So yeah,
upskilling is really important for people entering the space, whether they're nurses or whatever, and any human being, but especially healthcare or related or even corporate, HR people. I mean, these things are just investments that just pay handsomely.
yeah, very well said, Sanjeev. And just to give a brief probably information on the course itself, although I've spoken about it regularly, but we have the largest content on low carb nutrition and metabolic health in the world. We have about 1,000 plus references to 50,000 plus words, 100 plus relevant videos in the course. There is lifetime access to the course. Once you do it, there is no recertification clause. Once you
Yes,
are
I
certified, you're
go back quite a lot. It's very useful to go back and just go through things and learn
yeah,
again,
in fact, certifications in India, I think sports nutrition and all of those certifications, a lot of them, they have this recertification clause. So even when you're certified, you need to go back to them and, pay them to keep your certificate valid. And recently I came to know that they have changed their policies after we started talking about the life, that there is no recertification clause. So I think we are making a change in the policy as well of certification in India.
I mean, you just encapsulated why people like to do business with India. You get better and it's cheaper.
Yeah. So I think we are leading in a lot of ways, not only in what we provide as content, as resource, as platform of Loka in India and the world, but also in a lot of ethical practices that we do. For example, no recertification clause. The other example is that when you get enrolled into the course, other courses just take money, certify you, and then you are on your own. Here, Anup has provided 10 years of D-Life forum access that is built over with a lot of hard work, which is the gold standard of low carb nutrition resource learning content in the world. So you get forum access free, you get recipes access free, you get WhatsApp access free, you can take help from the mentors on your cases. No other course does that. So I think we have set a very ethical gold standard of operations and content and everything else in low carb. And that's why I think the credibility is so much. We have so many collaborations with the leading brands, low carb brands, like diagnostics and supplements and Atta and all of these sugars. And we will also have a collab with you, Sanjeev, when you launch your product in India, so that
Sure.
people can use that link and buy it. And so, that's how the course is, that's how the content is. As I think I've spoken about everything, the forum access and everything. Anything else that you want to say, Sanjeev? And also give out your contact details in case people want to reach out to you.
Sure. Uh, just like for me, just learning about things like the Krebs cycle and just being able to talk about them intelligently and learning about the human body and these case studies, these stories that you guys have, hundreds of real life stories. They're just so inspirational. They belong as a Netflix, series. Some of these stories, like the cardio surgeon or the pediatrician who came back from America to teach nutrition. There's so many, I mean, countless, so that's just, a great addition and more, we need, to get that across, because there's really good human stories. The Indian vegetarian, well, unbeatable, D life. I mean, you can't you in the whole world. You just give hand any Indian vegetarian to a life, and you'll have happy client and a happy referral because that Western doctor cannot handle that guy. So just leave the Indian. You tried the cowboys, now try the Indians.
Yeah, very well said.
um,
And
yeah,
yeah, Sanjeev. So I
yeah,
think, yeah, please
and
continue.
I would just motivate anybody, if you're in healthcare, if you're interested in healthcare, if you're wondering what to do with your life, it's a great investment. Even if you just use it to help your family or yourself alone, but you can build a substantial career and a very rewarding career in this space, because even my friend in Australia, what he did and his success and the how you help people lose weight and achieve these things and the PCOS babies that you make. I mean, these are real life goals that you're helping people to get. And, there's only so many professionals that you can touch people's hearts like that.
Yeah. The difference between any other course in India is that, and us, is that we are not dietitians and nutritionists, we are metabolic health consultants who are trained to work with low carb on metabolic syndromes reversal. So whether you have diabetes, whether you have hypertension, whether you have any of those spectrums, low carb is the only way to get back. And that's why generic dietitians and nutritionists do not know low carb. And that's why they are not trained or they cannot work on reversing these conditions. So this is the defining difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist and somebody who's a metabolic health consultant trained and certified from D-Life. Even doctors are enrolled in the D-Life diploma course, and we train mainstream doctors as well. So you can well imagine the difference of scope of work that we do. And that's why these stories are very endearing, because Anoop's 100-gram carbs per day max protocol is a magic mantra that has never, failed to succeed. This is what
It
I
just
always
sticks
say.
in your head. There's nothing to
Correct.
think about.
Correct. And if you remember, just yesterday or day before yesterday, somebody mentioned on the WhatsApp community, Ida gives the fastest results. But I have tweeted about it today. If you stick to 100-gram carbs per day, of course, the knob will be turned down based on your metabolic health, based on your blood work, based on your goals. But it cannot go beyond 100-gram carbs per day max. If you stick to this mantra that Anoop has given, you will get results as quick as me. Because you are giving higher carbs, it is not possible to see such remission, and such a short time. People think it's almost a miracle or magic or impossible. No, it is science. And I post with blood work, and I post with testimonials, I post with videos whenever I can. So it is as real. Nothing is better. Nothing succeeds like 100-gram carbs per day max. Try it, and you will see the same results that Ira Sahai gets. Sanjeev, anything else that you would want to say before we end the session?
Nothing at the moment, other than just, thank you everybody and keep up the good work. We're there 100% to support you guys and look forward to the future, as we launch. The company is called Sucroless, so sucroless.com, Sucro less. If anybody wants to get in touch, just have a look on there and just reach out, or my mine's at work. Yeah, so that's it really. And well done, you guys. Keep it up. I'm proud of you. Proud to be
Yeah.
associated.
So are we, Sanjeev. We are very proud of you and what you're bringing to India. I think that will be a great addition to the low carb community, to the, to people who are now trying to make lives easier. Quitting sugar is definitely not easy, and we have done, so many sessions on sugar addiction, carb addiction, and all of that. I think Sanjeev, what he's bringing to the table through D Life, as a member of D Life community, and for people at large, is going to change a lot of things for low carbers. So Sanjeev, I think once you're closer to the launch date, we'll schedule a podcast to discuss about allulose, about your product, and what and how it can help people
I
in the
really
journey.
look forward to that.
Yes, we'll do that. So thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you for coming and speaking to us
Thank you,
about the
Ira.
course, about what you're bringing to the market, to the Indian market, and very glad to have you in the D Life community.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. This is Ira Sahai signing off. I'll be back again with another D-Life Diploma course review video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. Bye, Sanjeev.
Bye.